Hell, it's not even far from my house here, to be honest with you. Do you guys remember the African lady that was calling in the other day, and she was telling me she was living at McDonald's? I was telling Latino earlier this afternoon, and so I was coming downtown. I said, well, damn, I'm about to pass right by the McDonald's where she said she was. Maybe I'll see her. And so I get down there, and let's see if I can share my screen. Well, I think I'm already sharing my screen. And so here's what I saw. This is outside of McDonald's, right downtown. It's a homeless woman. I walked up to her. She's an African woman, and she's homeless. And so I walked up to her. I said, you need $1? She said, yeah. And I gave her $1. I just wanted to see, make sure she had the African accent. And that was her. I'm almost sure that was her, but I can't be definitive because I didn't see the woman that called me there. Maybe there are more homeless women hanging out at McDonald's there. There were a couple other homeless people there. So it's very interesting, again, that this very well could be the woman that you see. She has her bags there. It looks like here's some of his music here. And so here's NBA YoungBoy, and the NBA, if I'm not mistaken, stands for Never Broke Again. Never Broke Again. YoungBoy, he has, I think, 13 children. I don't have a problem with that. But I'm just giving you a rundown on who NBA YoungBoy is. And apparently he's a very, very successful rapper. And from what I understand, he is not a mainstream rapper. He is more or less a kind of a, outside of the record industry rapper, from what I understand. I'm not quite sure about this. Here's a video from 5 hours ago.
I think that people should be able to go to T-Mobile or any other venue in the city, purchase a ticket, and enjoy their show. And it should not be interrupted by people who misbehave.
The T-Mobile Center employee on the receiving end of a brutal attack at T-Mobile Center at a concert Sunday shares his story with Fox 4 now. Kansas City police arrested a teenager for beating up a 66-year-old guest services employee.
But that teen has since been released during the police investigation. Fox 4's Malik Jackson live in downtown Kansas City outside T-Mobile Center where this all went down.
No, they should start calling these teens young boys. They are young boys, young men. Young boys, NBA young.
Now, Malik, how's that employee doing? He says his injuries are both physical and psychological.
He does. Thomas Langley, a 17-year veteran guest services employee right here at the T-Mobile Center, but he still thinks it's important to share his story, and he's doing so first right here on Fox 4. We want to warn you that this video is hard to watch.
I mean, it is serious that I went down and...
Jesus Christ. This is an old man. This is an old man. NBA YNs. Always broke again. ABA. Always broke again. Man, I don't know if you guys saw this older man. Jesus Christ. Like, what?
I mean, it is serious that I went down and had blows to my head.
That is 66
Oh,
year
that's Trayvon Martin right there. Because here's a man down on the ground, 66 years old. And I could almost understand if it was 66-year-old black man, because maybe the nigga did something. I'd be looking, what did 66-year-old nigga do? Maybe he said something. You can say something to some of these blacks, as Tough Guy said, they're trigger words. Maybe he said a trigger word to the YN. If it was a 66-year-old black man, I might say maybe he was there at the concert. There at the concert, and they got into it over something. But when you look at this 66-year-old white man, you know he innocent as hell, and this black just jumped on. Have mercy. 66 years old, still out here trying to be productive. Going to work. You know, questions that we're going to do a series on advice from younger people to the older generation. And some of the advice that clearly I was going to suggest is that if you're able-bodied, it'll be good for your mind, soul, spirit, and you'll make a little money at the same time. You can go work. You don't have to do any hard work. You don't have to work full time. You can work a little bit of leisure, leisurely job, maybe at an arena. Punching tickets, not doing nothing much, nothing strenuous here. And look at this 66-year-old man. This is Kansas City.
It's hard to
Hard.
watch.
Look at that black.
I mean, it is serious that I went down and had blows to my head.
Watch the black mount this 66-year-old man, not unlike Trayvon did, Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman. He mounts the 66-year-old man, start raining down blows. The man had glasses on, could have put his eyes out, anything look like.
This 66-year-old
Rain
Thomas
down.
Slangy describing the moments he's thrown on his back and repeatedly punched over and over again. And the only thing on his mind?
Just getting him off me. Because he was so enraged, so we were in essence trying to protect the fans.
This all happening Sunday at the NBA YoungBoy concert. The teen was arrested but since released to his parents pending the completion of the investigation.
He was asked to move to another place because his ticket wasn't where he was sitting, and immediately he...
So this is a fucking Carmelo Anthony all over again. Jesus Christ. I mean, you can't make this shit up. I didn't even know this. I did not know. There are Carmelo Anthony's everywhere, apparently. Carmelo Anthony in Kansas City. Carmelo Anthony's tough guy's hometown.
Move to another place because his ticket wasn't where he was sitting, and immediately he just completely lost it.
Pastor Robert McDaniel was at the concert. He witnessed this, and this is his video. We asked why he thought
The nigga video that didn't stop him, though, because if he just stopped him, them pack of blacks would have attacked him. This is all you can do in Black America today, honestly. Film it. Ride by, look, laugh, film it like a safari. But you better not help that old man, because them blacks would turn on you some savagely.
taking the video and sharing it is important, he says, so as to illuminate what's going on.
But there's something going on in his heart.
And his mind. What do you think it could be, sir? Like, this is the closest I ever seen a black get to trying to get to the truth here. He says something going on in his heart. What about his mind? Because his mind had to tell him to do these actions over and over and over again. His heart is dark. What about the mind?
He needs to be fixed. And what that is his emotions. He needs to learn.
His emotions. I've told you all the time, man, these blacks are very emotional people. Very, very emotional people. That's what needs to be. And what about his mind? Right? Isn't that where the emotions come from? He asks him out on what's in his mind. But this man just beat up a 60-something-year-old man. You know, I'm going to tell you, for those of you that listen to my business partner that called in the other day, it's a woman. Go back and listen to it. And what you'll hear is she was very, very, very deferential to the people that whooped that black girl's ass in our house. Right? What the girl do? She must have done something. Blacks wouldn't behave like that just out of the blue. They wouldn't just jump on somebody for no good reason, would they? Well, in this case, the reason was you asked the nigga to move.
heart
Oh, yeah,
that he
I'm
needs
ready.
to be fixed. And what that is his.
He says so as to illuminate what's going on.
But there's something going on in his heart that he needs to be fixed. And what that is his emotions. He needs to learn how to operate.
Who's going to teach him? His parents clearly haven't. Is this an indictment on the parents again? Is this like another generational failure? The parents probably had bad emotions. They raised a child with bad emotions. And then what makes matters worse to compound everything is they send that black out into the world against the world. Black man versus the world. How many videos did we show you where the blacks from the 60s, the 70s, and 80s, I'm going to fight the world, white man, I'm going to do this. They never talked about improving themselves. It's just like, I got to fight the white man. I got to fight somebody. Because looking internally and improving upon myself is a little bit too much. So this guy says, well, it's his emotions. He's so emotional. But what he said, they asked the boy to move. So what was it? They asked the boy to move. What happened?
Move to another place
Yeah,
because
Of the investigation.
he was asked to move to another place because his ticket wasn't where he was sitting.
Do y'all see the correlation between this and Carmelo Anthony? Do y'all see this? The correlation with this? And other people say, hey man, get off my pound. I ain't going to motherfucking play. I'm gonna say what the fuck I want to say. Hey man, why don't you go to your pound? Fuck that. I did my pound now. I'm Carmelo Anthony. There's so many other patterns that you see in the world. From the old to the young. And here's a black talking about, hey, he's emotional. He's so emotional.
And immediately he just completely lost it.
Just like they whooped my tenant. See, this is what I'm saying. You heard me when I told that black tenant. I said, baby, these niggas go zero. The nigga, who made that song? 0 to 100 real quick. I think that was Drake. I go 0 to 100 real quick. Real quick. And so here's this black man said this nigga went 0 to 100 real quick, just after being asked to go to your proper seat. Hey guys, you may remember when I told you about the Cedric the Entertainer. I went there 20, 30 years ago now, maybe. The Kings of Comedy, and he said blacks would show up late and be hoping a motherfucker in their seat. That was the joke. And the whole black audience laughed because they know it's true. And he put on the skit. White people come in, they be like, oh, I hope no one's in my seat. You don't know black people if you don't believe that what I just told you is true. A nigga would deliberately show up late for someone. And in his mind is, I hope a motherfucker is in my seat. The variant to that is something like, I wish a motherfucker would. I wish somebody would. It's the same thing. Speaking of, I wish a nigga would. I got a I wish a nigga would story for you. I'm jumping, I know. We'll get back to Young Boy. But man, this one here really got me here, boy. I say, God damn. I remember all of this. Oh, I remember all this. In the black community, there's a saying, if you pull a gun on me, nigga, you better shoot me, nigga. You better shoot me. You better shoot me. That is the mindset of blacks. It's a very interesting concept because clearly if a person has a gun and if they decide to shoot you and you're provoking them by telling them to shoot you, well, the game's up now. If they take your advice for it, the jig is up, right? The jig will be up at that point if they took your advice. Shoot me. You pull the gun on me, bitch, shoot me. That is something that blacks say all the time there. And so I remember seeing this video from years ago. Take a look at this. Boy, you're not. And what she said was this. You got to kill me. You got to kill me then. You hear him clearly say it.
I'm sorry. They took my $8 out here. I'll kill you. You got to kill me. What? I'm sorry. You got me. Okay. Dave is coming for real. Hey, baby, I'm sorry. Okay. Let's go right now. Okay, I'm sorry. Yo, baby. I go down for the... Damn, I'm sorry.
You notice no one's coming to her aid.
I'm sorry, baby.
Dinner.
I don't want it that
Dinner.
I don't want it that way, baby.
Did I just say I'll kill you? Did I just say that?
I'm sorry.
You. You just...
I don't want it that, baby. Please.
You. Call police. I just got somebody. Just call you out, you Joe. Tried to rob me. Tried to help your dad. Call the police. He just tried to rob me.
You may have heard her say that. I tried to help your dumb ass. Did you hear her say that? Listen.
Tried to rob me. Tried to help your dad.
I tried to help your dumb ass. And she had to shoot him anyway. You can see her. She begins to walk away. He grabs her, fights with her. And he said, "You're going to have to kill me." And she
Call the police. He just tried to rob me.
I'm sorry, baby.
I'm sorry, baby.
Yeah. You thought I was playing? I told you I'll shoot you.
You took the gun from me?
He tried to steal the gun from me. Call the police.
Like your gun?
Yes.
It's
Call the police.
registered to you? Just let him go, man.
You hear the people talking about, is your gun registered? Is that your gun? Listen, you hear the blacks? Like, here's a woman been attacked by a man, said he tried to rob me. And the black, is that your gun? Is it registered? When the fuck niggas ever care about somebody shooting or unregistered gun?
I told you I'll shoot you.
You took the gun from me?
He tried to steal the gun from me. Call the police.
Like your gun?
Yes. Call the police.
It's registered to you? Just let him go, man.
No, call him.
Did you hear that nigga? Did you hear that nigga? Did y'all hear that? This is blacks. Ooh, this is black. Deep down in the hole, my nigga. This is
I
black.
told you I'll shoot you.
You took the gun from me?
He tried to steal the gun from me. Call the police.
Like your gun?
Yes.
It's
Call the police.
registered to you?
It's registered? Imagine a ghetto nigga asking you is something registered. They don't even register their fucking cars.
Just let him go, man.
No, call.
Just let him go, ma'am. Damn. Just let him go, ma'am. Just let him go. You hear the nigga?
Damn.
He just tried to rob me. He got a whole surprise.
He got a whole
I just got to go there. He just tried to rob me.
Call the police, guys.
Tried to rob me. He got a whole surprise. Yeah, I just tried to go there. He just tried to rob me.
Damn. It's registered to you? Just let him go, man.
No,
Just let him go, nigga. This nigga shot. You need an ambulance to come. What the fuck are you talking about? Let him go. Just let him go. They don't want to be held accountable. Just let him go. He's shot. You let him die. Just let him die. But by no means let him be held accountable for attacking this woman. You can see immediately what you do to him. Why, girl? George Zimmerman twin? You tried to rob him, you took his gun? They said, oh no, it's my gun. He tried to rob me. Is that gun registered? What? Can you imagine a lawless ass black, asking a woman after she telling people, call the police. This nigga trying to rob me. Is your gun registered? All these unregistered guns run around in the black community. And he concerned about hers after she done shot a black. That's very interesting. Let him go. But he just tried to rob her, sir. You want to let that black criminal go? But he just tried to rob her. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
call the police right now. Call the police.
Damn.
He just tried to rob me. He got a whole surprise. Yeah, I just tried to go there. He just tried to rob me.
Call the police, guys.
Call the police, baby. He wants the police. The other black said, don't call the police.
No, I'm trying to help you.
She's still trying to tell her, nigga, I was trying to help you.
I just tried to help you. I told you I shoot you. You tried to steal my gun.
Now, you know what's interesting is, and this is some incompetent policing here. This woman is a police officer, by the way. Police officers are supposed to render aid even after they shoot you. She's not attempting to render any aid. She's not securing a scene, keeping the bystanders away. She's just like, she ain't call police. You are the police. You call them. You ain't got your phone? Okay, well, somebody should call him, but you should be performing some kind of aid on this man. Correct? Am I correct about that? I'm not saying she's guilty and innocent. I'm saying that this is the level of incompetence, things like this, that you're seeing in these police forces. I did a video the other day. For those of you that saw it, yeah, she's a cop. For those of you that saw the video, I did a video where a DC police officer rode out to Virginia, beat up a cop, groped her, tried to take her gun. And when it all came out, he had a revoked license. Revoked, not even suspended. His license was revoked. Yeah, he'd been on the police force for who knows how long. And so look at her training or lack thereof. This is, again, Chicago police officer here, not rendering aid to the man that she just shot. She just ran to call the police. Lady, you're supposed to be doing something too while you're telling anybody else to call the police, because you are the police and you have training.
I don't get no about him. He just tried to rob me.
Waving a gun. You crazy.
I gotta go to work today. Yo, just got me in trouble. What happened? He just tried to rob me. I'm trying to help him. He just tried to
And she's like, I gotta go to work. And we've heard that before from the other receiving end of the bullet. I gotta go to work. She's not rendered this man any aid. I'm sure his family at some point sued the city of Chicago for officer not performing the duties that they are sworn to on and off duty there. So even though he was in it wrong, her incompetence or lack of training likely cost the city money here downstream. I'm sure they sued. Any good lawyer could say, hey, this man may have survived if she just rendered him the most basic aid. Maybe, you never know. He would have been survived. He'd have been in jail because they ultimately did charge him with attempted robbery here. You didn't,
did you? Yeah.
And so this was a couple years ago. This was in 2023, actually, in Chicago. I don't know what city this is, what town, what part of Chicago this is. And you can see someone saying, showing no remorse. No remorse. She responded, watch this, showing no remorse here. And here's some follow-up to this. This is very interesting. See if I have here. Her name is actually Crystal Rivera. That was the officer's name there. And let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I have it here. Crystal Rivera. There was a, let me just pull her up here. Crystal Rivera. I was looking at her earlier today. I was wondering why she was still, why she was trending here. And so here is what I saw here.
Tonight, remembering fallen officer Crystal Rivera, family, friends, and fellow Chicago police officers are getting together today to say their goodbyes in Forest Park as she was laid to rest.
Rivera was a 4-year veteran of the department, but it's not what she did on the job that people are remembering her for today, but her life beyond the badge.
Tia Ewing was at the service. She joins us live with how loved ones are honoring Rivera's memory. Tia.
Well, Scott and Don, you said it, that Officer Crystal Rivera spent nearly 4 years on the
United Center canceled the event. Let me see what this says. I'm pretty sure the United Center. But and that's a pretty big event for him to perform. NBA YoungBoy. Yeah, NBA King Von's sister, Kaylee B, reacts to his did she release a video? So I guess she's happy about it. Let's see. Let's see if this video is playing. Oh, here it is.
Of race and media at the University of South Carolina, Dr. Jabari Evans. Thanks so much for being here.
This is amazing.
Thank you for having
People
me.
talking about this shit.
So Dr. Evans is going to speak to us a little bit about something we've just learned not that long ago. The United Center recently canceled NBA YoungBoys concert, which was scheduled for tomorrow. The United Center did not give out any reason for this, but we have seen other incidents at other concert venues across the country where violence did break out at some of these NBA YoungBoy concerts. And Dr. Evans is going to lead us and give us a little bit of perspective on what we're seeing here. So first, I want to start with just how familiar are you with NBA YoungBoy, and could you explain to our viewers how would you describe his music?
Well, I'll say NBA YoungBoy is someone who is an internet sensation. He's someone whose music kind of has sprouted out from what one would call the underground. But he comes from a tradition that is actually very much associated with drill rap, which is actually a subgenre of hip hop that was birthed on the south side of Chicago. The interesting thing about it is he's sort of taken it, making it his own, and he's become very popular. And, you know, it's one of those things where we see someone like NBA YoungBoy being the transition between artists that go through the traditional industry, major label pipeline to someone who is able to use social media platforms and streaming services to their own advantage and cultivate a real dedicated and loyal fan base. And I would say he's probably the poster child for that era of sort of music.
What was your reaction when you found out that his concert here in Chicago at the United Center was going to be canceled?
I kind of was under the impression that if they were going to cancel it, they should have never booked the concert in the first place, because there's been a very tenuous relationship between the city of Chicago and this genre that I've talked to you about, drill music. And beyond that, you know, there's been a public feud between NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk, who's a local star who has a lot of reputation in the Chicagoland area, in particular his local area, which is titled O Block. Titled after the slain young man Odie Perry, who passed away at, I believe, 14 years old. And you know, they've had these public feuds back and forth, NBA YoungBoy's kind of camp and entourage, as well as Lil Durk's camp and entourage. And there's been a lot of back and forth, and there's been a lot of conversation and discourse online about, you know, if NBA YoungBoy were to ever have a tour date in Chicago, that it would be disrupted, and that it would be disrupted violently. And so I think that's something that I know the city of Chicago takes seriously and doesn't take lightly. But I think there's also this underlying capitalist motive of wanting to sort of cash in on the popularity of both of these artists and hopefully sell out an arena. But, you know, I think that there's also some real world implications on public safety.
So basically, his concert was canceled in a pretty big city. He won't get a chance to monetize it. The vendors and all those people, they lost that too.
To bear here.
And you mentioned popularity. Obviously, if you're getting a chance to book a tour date at the United Center, they think that you're going to be able to sell a lot of tickets here. What do you think this cancellation should say to, I guess, NBA YoungBoy's fans who, of course, paid their money and were looking forward to seeing him tomorrow?
This is an unfortunate thing to me, because I think what ends up happening here is hip hop is becoming a scapegoat more broadly in mainstream media. But I think what goes on here is that NBA YoungBoy's fans are now labeled and stigmatized as being sort of associated with being the wrong crowd or being sort of the wrong type of fan, when, you know, I think the United Center is always going to have artists that show up and sell out the venue. But I think it says something when people from hip hop, those who come from marginalized communities, low income backgrounds, are able to sort of make their way through the ranks, especially in the way that NBA YoungBoy has done so. And for that opportunity to sort of be snatched away, you know, due to something that I would say is about clout chasing, politics, bureaucracy, and in some ways, empty threats, potentially, it's unfortunate, because that becomes the narrative around someone who is a phenomenal artist who makes great music. And now we're sort of shifting the focus away from that artistry into what could potentially be a public safety issue.
This guy's name is Jabari or something, right? It's Jabari.
As you mentioned, the safety issue there. I guess going forward, how do you feel like maybe the city of Chicago, whether it's the United Center or other concert venues, how do they find the balance of
Oh
so
my
important to the vibrancy?
But it also is a sign of the vibrance of our youth expression in the city of Chicago. And I think,
Vibrant
again,
youth
just to
expression.
echo the last point that I made, I think it's a shame that we get to look at drill from a deficit perspective rather than a strength perspective. And so I think as we see this move forward,
Man, I can't listen no more of this shit ever. Whatever. Fuck that. I mean, these people crazy as fuck.
So far, officials with the United Center have not given a specific reason for the cancellation, which came just 2 days before the concert was set to begin. Now, the cancellation did come a few days after the United Center announced a strict no bags of any size policy specifically for the NBA YoungBoy concert. Now, while fans are upset, those closest to the rapper say that safety concerns were the reason for the cancellation. NBA YoungBoy, whose real name is Kentrell Deshaun Galvin, is in the middle of his Make America Slime Again tour. His Chicago stop was set for tomorrow night. But yesterday, the United Center posted this on their website, only saying it had made the decision to cancel the show. CBS News Chicago reached out to the United Center to learn more about the reason for the cancellation, but representatives said there would be no further comment. NBA YoungBoy has not commented on the cancellation either, but there's been plenty of online reaction, including fans expressing disappointment, some saying they had already spent money on hotels and other expenses for the show.
Hey, yeah.
The rapper's mother, Sharana Galvin, posted on her Instagram saying the cancellation was due to safety concerns.
So it's nothing about, nobody wanted to come there and none of that. They canceled it for the safety of the people that really wanted to attend, to keep y'all safe from the ones that don't know how to act.
You may recall last year, an 18-year-old from Elgin was shot and killed during a violent robbery on his way to a Lil Durk concert.
So far, one modified person.
We don't know if that violence had anything to do with this cancellation. The United Center says people who purchase tickets through Ticketmaster will have their money automatically refunded. Anyone who purchased through a third-party vendor will have to contact that group. Now, NBA YoungBoy's tour continues. His next tour date is on Thursday. It's set for Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. At last check, that performance is still set to go on as scheduled. We're now reporting live outside the United Center. Victor Jacobo, CBS News.
NBA, what drill rap? What kind of fucking music is that? Yeah, I've never heard any of his music before. Used to live down the street from Chicago there, the United Center here. Here's the man that was beaten up at the Kansas City arena, and this is I thought this was what's his name posting on this, but apparently this is the guy Thomas, guest service lead at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri, who was assaulted by a 14-year-old boy. I can only imagine that his children probably was saying, "Don't go work, Daddy. You don't need to be out there working, concert, coming home late at night, whatever." And for 14 years, however long he worked there, he's been there quite a bit of time. I think they say 20 years or so. He was able to, pull it off there. And then along comes NBA YoungBoy and his crazy rap fans and broke his nose here. And apparently the guy may need a nose job here. The 14-year-old boy, just 14-year-old, just a baby, a juvenile. He broke this NBA YoungBoy. Literally broke this young man's nose here at 14. It broke this older man's nose at 14 years old. Again, I speculated earlier that earlier this week, I think blacks are having a hard time finding respectful elders. They're looking at their elders and they're saying, "Damn, this ain't nothing but an OG, like a Ernest." And they're having a hard time respecting them. Understandably so. Would you respect Ernest? He willing to go out and get a YN to kill somebody. And so in this case, I think, this kind of lack of respect for elders, it bubbles over across races. In this case, in that he did something kind of unbelievable to a very 66-year-old man. I couldn't imagine doing that, but I don't know. It's kind of amazing there. A 66-year-old man beaten up by a 14-year-old. And for those of you who say the 14-year-old man can't do a lot of damage, well, you saw a 14-year-old just break a man's nose here. 66-year-old man's nose, to be exact. So 14-year-old man can do quite a bit of damage here. But you got to ask yourself, why are these young boys getting so violent? What will make him be so violent like that? Anyway, I did a stream earlier about Cardi B. We talked about her husbands. This is Cardi B. Yeah, there it is. This is Cardi B. And at this point, she's pregnant. She's quite a bit pregnant here. And I guess she's promoting her album, and people are out here cheering on a pregnant woman with, oh, damn, I'm not even sharing. A pregnant woman with multiple children here. This is Cardi B. And that's Cardi B, a woman pregnant with another man while being married to another man. Is very interesting. I can only imagine the dynamics of that relationship, considering these guys had some sort of a relationship between the two of them. Anyway, very interesting. Very, very interesting. What was I going to tell you? I had something in my phone. Let me put this on Twitter. Give me a second here. What was I going to put on Twitter here? Let's see. I went through the Johns Hopkins. I went through the African lady. This is what I was going to put on here. Okay. Let me put this on Twitter. Give me 1 second. So I'm right. Oh, damn. Can I see it? Twitter. Done. Let me see. Put this one. There it is. Twitter. For those of you that don't follow me on Twitter, I post a lot of stuff on Twitter. A lot of times you hear it here. You hear me talk about it here. So here's what I just posted on Twitter here. So I'm riding downtown. I told you about this earlier. Let's see if I can go home. Let's see. Where's my home? Here we go. So I'm riding downtown today. I was telling you that. So the CBC weekend is going on, and here's the CBC weekend. So I see all these dressed up people, and here they are here. So here's where they're going to the party here. This is the Park nightclub. We actually had the owner of this nightclub on the channel here, and here's all the dressed up sister gals. They headed out to a night of partying. This is the first night of CBC weekend. Well, no, it's today, Wednesday, Tuesday, second night. More or less the second. That's the first night. It started the 24th, so this is the first night, I think. And here are the women going into the Park nightclub here. CBC is a Congressional Black Caucus 2025. And so we'll be covering a little bit of that this week here. So I'll probably do some street interviews somewhere. See if we catch up some CBC members there. Let me put the link in the chat. Anyone want to jump up? Talk about whatever you want to talk about. The floor is open to you guys. Let me see. And while I'm doing that, while I'm waiting on someone, I'll pull up a couple links here. Here's the first one. Oh, no. Some DC local news here. I can't believe this. Check this out.
Also facing a judge today, the former deputy director of a DC public safety agency. She pleaded guilty earlier this year to taking a $10,000 bribe, which she describes as, quote, a lapse in judgment.
And today, Dana McDaniel was sentenced to 16 weekends behind bars, more than 3 years on probation, and 6 months on house arrest. Our Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley is joining us live from the D.C. Bureau tonight.
Yeah, Felicia, you were in court today, and the judge said that government employees need to learn a lot.
Hey, Tropes, I'm assuming you're talking about the KC vendor. It wasn't random. He asked the guy to go to the proper seat, and that's when the guy beat him up. I'm assuming you're talking about the guy at the NBA YoungBoy concert.
Lesson, what happened?
That's right, and he said that lesson is if you're a government employee and you get involved in these pay-to-play schemes, that there will be consequences. And today, Dana McDaniel felt some of those consequences. Now, today in court, we heard for the first time why she claimed she got involved in all of this. She said that she said no multiple times when she was propositioned with this bribe. She said she eventually said yes. She claims that she fell upon financial issues, but she said from the